Hi, and welcome back to Out of the Box Creative Makeup. I am so excited about today's look. It is a drag look based on Marie Antoinette. I am so excited about it. I cannot wait to get started. Here's the final product. We are ready for the makeup stage. Now, if you'd like to see how I block my eyebrows, go to my first video on Etched in Stone, as well as a full tutorial on my last video, Drag Fantasy, on how to do the duct tape facelift. All right, today I'm going to be starting with a primer. I'm starting actually a new one. This was all recommended by Ellis Atlantis, who's an amazing drag queen performer, but also was the season 1 winner of Glow Up. So that's probably where you know him from. But yeah, so we're using the Kimchi Effin' Primer. I'm super excited about using this for today's look. This stuff is incredibly smooth. It feels so good on the skin, especially I've done a few makeup looks today. So it feels so hydrating on the skin. I love it. And we're gonna put that everywhere. That's good. You know, I have, I've had pretty damaged skin over the years just from being outside, being a band director and marching band and all that stuff. So when I'm doing all this creative makeup, the moisture of my skin is so important, and things like primers help to make sure that all the texture of your skin is minimized as much as possible as my skin continues to recover. Of course, I'm in the process of doing all those things, taking care of the skin, moisturizing, and all the different tricks that are out there. But absolutely, so far, so good. This Effin' Primer by Kimchi is absolutely amazing. All right, so we're gonna go to the next step, which is, this is a full white makeup. And so we're gonna be going back to my tried and true. I love this Krylon, the 070, which is a pure white. And we're gonna be putting this one on today all over, including some of the chest. So we're gonna get started. Even though we've blended everything out with our awesome brush, I do like to go with a damp blender and just go through just to continue to even out the texture as much as possible. And getting into, once again, I have such, textured skin and pores, or my beard, all that kind of stuff. I have really thick hair, and so this really helps to get everything as even as possible. But we have another stage that's coming up, also by a recommendation from Ellis Atlantis, and I'll tag her in these videos and stuff like that also too, so then you can go back and see, but has a really good short on how to create an even whiter white, because obviously you can still see a little bit of my skin, and we're going to apply another layer to this to get as pure white as possible. So the trick to get even the best white base possible, because obviously this would be great, but you definitely want to get as pure as possible with the white, is there's also a Kimchi. It's called the Most Concealer. Okay, Kimchi Most Concealer. This right here, pure white, and we're going to put this on top of our makeup. We'll put it in we're going to be generous with this. Kind of put it in our normal highlight spaces. Here. All right, let's give it a shot. Oh my gosh, I can see such a huge difference in the white. Hopefully you can see it on the camera, but it's such a huge difference here in person. So this Kimchi concealer is absolutely fantastic, and I can't wait to try it in other products. So 2 for 2 right now on Kimchi products. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a little bit of contouring. This is the TV white Krylon. So notice the difference. There is actually a pink hue to this. So compared to the 070, you can see there's a slight blush to this one here. And so we're going to be using this one to create a little bit, just a light contour in our normal spots, it's going to be so subtle. Here. Yeah, so subtle. And of course, in our normal places where we would add the dark contour through here. Nice, good thing here. And then, of course, the chin. So subtle. Okay. I'm gonna blend this in and I'll be with you. All right, final stage of our base is we have this is kimchi, that white powder. And I'm so super excited about this. So this is to help obviously set and bake. So the foundation, it's important to know that, for example, there's a difference between, we have our translucent powders, which are gonna be a little bit more kind of like in the skin tone realm, which obviously would completely change the color of this. So we don't want that. So we wanna go with a pure white setting. Now also, Marie has a setting powder that's pure white. It's a little small container. It's such small, I'm always afraid to use it. But with this one here, the setting powder, kimchi comes in a nice big container. Okay, lots of good stuff, and we're going to apply this to help lock this in. Setting powder's been on for at least a good 4 to 5 minutes. So when you're doing your setting stuff, you know, thinking about, like I beat my face for a really long time, I'm trying to make sure that everything is set, all the white is nice and even. So as I'm going in with all the powders on top of it, I want to make sure that everything is locked in and it is staying in place. I cannot already so far, just the primer itself, the smoothness of the creams that went on top of it was absolutely amazing. The Most Concealer made such a huge difference in the white, and as well as this white powder, kimchi white powder, I cannot recommend all of them. All right, let's get rid of this extra here. And everything is looking super even. Love it. Super excited about that. For all the people that are interested, the brushes I'm using are the Do You Care? I saw an ad. You know, I was bomb rushed by the algorithms, and I was looking at makeup stuff, and I needed new brushes because I, you know, got some cheap brushes off of Amazon. Once again, I'm self-taught. I'm not necessarily, I didn't go to a school for anything. This is just what I could get my hands onto to be able just to create and to do certain things. And so I'm just kind of learning along the way. But these Do Care are actually really nice. And I got this set that has such a huge variety. It came in like 37 different brushes and different types. And I just absolutely have loved it so far, and made such a huge difference in the makeup that I'm doing. Okay, so we're going to be using, for the colors, I like to use, you know, I could be wrong, I could be right, I don't know, but I always think about just creams and powders, right? So we have our creams and our powders. And so if it's a powder, I'm gonna use it in different ways. So I'm gonna go back to that Give Me Glow, which I used in my last one for the drag here. And there's some really beautiful pinks in here, and the saturation of color was gorgeous. There wasn't a lot of fallout. And so I loved all that. So I'm gonna be using these three here, okay, right here in this corner, to be able to start building contour and starting to kind of shape the face. Okay, so we're gonna kind of start with that. So I'm gonna use just a nice fluffy, actually gonna use a blush brush, okay, here, just something a little bit rounded so I can control, you know, so it's not completely flat. I control it. And I'm gonna start with the lightest Spill the Tea Rose, and I'm gonna kind of build that color into my face. And I'm gonna start with the easiest place, which is gonna be here above the ear, and gently working my way down to about the center of my cheek. Now when I'm doing this, I want to be as light as possible, okay? And I want to build this slowly, because, you know, once it's on there, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get off. But I also want it to be as natural of a transition between the white and the color that I'm giving myself right here. So you can see as I'm building this color, it's beautiful. It's super subtle right now, and we are going to go into a darker. As I mentioned, this is a drag, so this is going to be definitely going to be dramatic, but I like where this is going. All right, we got our standard, our lightest color. Now we're going to go in with our mid shade, our Papa Pink. We're going to start to develop a little bit more of a depth between the color. So powder contours done to shape the face. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start to line out the eye. I'm going to do the brows last because we're doing kind of like a pencil thin black eyeliner to kind of make it a little bit more, make it pop a little bit more. So we're going to do just the outer edge first, and so we're going to kind of map this out. I'm going to use an angled, so this is an angled nose brush. I like the angle as I'm going this way because it helps me to control the path, and especially because I'm trying to do a very strong outline. I'm going to start once again with this middle Papa Pink color, and I'm going to start on the inside of the nose here, right at the edge, and I'm just going to start to pat my pathway of the eye shape. Kind of see where I'm going with it. And this is not the darkest shade that we're going for. However, this is a beautiful, and of course it fits into all of the colors here. Okay. Once I get that there. And then because I've my hooded eyes here, I'm gonna go up this way. And this is going to be a, we're going to kind of smoke this out, so this is not going to be anything that needs to be defined in this edge here. I might do it later, but okay, I'm going to do the other side. Now with our darker shade of the pink, this is Pretty Pony. I'm gonna go right into this area here. Just a nice pointed eyeshadow brush. Let's see, this is great saturation. And the color is so pretty. And there's been no fallout also too, which is fantastic. All right, to darken and to develop the corner just a little bit more, I'm going to go in actually with a dark purple flower power here. And we're going to really darken this corner even more. So again, with hooded eyes, and here is gently rubbing and doing it in different directions. I try to change the direction of my brush just to make sure that I'm getting an evenness there. Yeah, this is very pretty. Fit for a queen. A drag queen. All right, now that we have the purple in there, I'm gonna take a nice big fluffy blending brush and work on getting the colors nice and smooth and even. As I mentioned, I want to smoke out the corners as much as possible within here because it's going to kind of blend in with the eyebrows themselves. Smoking this out, getting the edges. Nice, even, smooth, circular motion. Okay, so you can see the difference between this and here. Okay, exactly what we want. You know something that is, I am left-handed. And so I try to do all my stuff left-handed, and as soon as I go to the right side, I feel like I'm learning how to write for the first time. All right, it's time for our lips. Both eyes are done. Did the same color underneath, pink, transition, beautiful. It'll look fantastic once we get our eyelashes on. All right, so for the lip, we're doing something a little bit more, not a normal shape. We're gonna end up doing a heart for this. So within this, I'm just gonna use an eyeliner pencil and kind of mark that side. And we're gonna do a heart shape lightly. Once again, resting position on your face is super, super important. Because when I'm doing this, and then I draw it, it's gonna be different. Since we're doing a pink theme, once again, we're going to use that Shocking Pink NYX lipstick that we used for the drag makeup in our last tutorial. Put this on and then mix it in. All right, heart-shaped lip is in. Okay, we're going to throw some glitter on her in just a little bit. But now it's time for the eyebrows. Okay, so for these we're going to be doing kind of a very thin, pencil thin shaped, very dramatic eye within this. So we're going to start with the side here, and we're going to do a little bit of kind of like a down and then up, and it's going to be quite dramatic. So. And here we are, lashes, eyebrows, and our lips. Cohesive look, pretty in pink. Now, let's get into our outfit. Here she is, Miss Marie Antoinette. If you like today's video tutorial, please hit like and subscribe. Can't wait to get more looks and creations heading your way.